people, welcome to another edition of Finger Tapping Frenzy that we all know and love as WWE SuperCard. With me, Big Jim, here at BadLadDad HQ. Something a bit different today. It's a bit different because I've actually pre-recorded the gameplay. It's pre-recorded. I mean, look, my hat's hands-free. It's a hands-free Finger Tapping Frenzy with no finger tapping. And the reason for that is, it struck me that because I have to record a lot of the videos during the course of the day, or when Ninja Boys just got home from school and we try and cram things in, you don't get to see me getting the event cards. I mean, you see them in my deck, you see them when I'm powering them up, but you don't actually get to see me while I'm playing them at midnight on a Sunday or whatever. So what I did last night, I was just actually playing the last round that I needed to win to get the Seth Rollins event card from Road to Glory. Obviously the second Seth Rollins, which is going to give me a pro. I thought, hang on a minute, why don't I just record the screen while I'm doing my Finger Tapping Frenzy, and then I can show you guys today, which is Monday, and then you get to see what I get up to, because it was quite important, the Road to Glory, for two reasons really. Firstly, wanted to get that Seth card for the pro, obviously, and nice design, nice to see Cat Daddy actually making a bit of an effort. They did that with Alistair Black as well. That's quite good timing. He just came up there. Did it with Alistair Black as well, didn't they? And it's nice when you've got something that's a slightly different design. So I was keen, if only for that fact, to get the card. But also, with the Road to Glory deck, I'd got a lot, maybe 5 or 6 single cards that I was powering up, and that included 2 John Cena's that obviously are going to make into a pro. There was a second Undertaker that was going to try and make into a pro. There's the Alistair Black fusion card. So it's just to show you really, as you can see, I'm quite happily prattling through the game here while I'm prattling on at you right now, tapping away and not really having to worry too much about what I'm doing. It was only the last 50 odd points going through Seth that I needed to pay much attention to, even making cards compatible when I was putting them in for tag teams. And the reason for that, of course, is we've got such a strong deck in general. When you actually get to see the deck, let's just enjoy this moment. Let's enjoy Seth freaking Rollins about to join the BLD army for a second time and become a Mr. Pro. And there he is. It's a good looking card, isn't it? Although I probably will change the image. I quite like the Money in the Bank image from, I think it was last season. Anyway, look, here we go. Here's the picks. Sneak preview. Just a spoiler alert. Nothing good came of this, so we'll just whiz through that. As I said to you in the previous video, my last WrestleMania pull, at least it wasn't a support card, but it was a Cedric, which is, that's no good. That's no good for me. It's not going to make any indent on my teams. So hopefully, there you can see Alistair Black. There we go. That's the image I was on about, the Money in the Bank image. So there you've got the takers that I need to do. Samoa Joe, of course, was available in that Road to Glory. So now I've got him as a pro to work on as well. And what I'm just doing there is checking through to see that my first Seth is fully done. And having a look at the 2 Cenas. Now these were on 0 when I started the Road to Glory, but I'd also had them both kicking around in the King of the Ring. So between the King of the Ring and the Road to Glory, and the same goes for the Taker card, that should have done enough to power them all up. As you can see, there's it's always speed and charisma. It's always a bit of speed and charisma that needs finishing off. So Taker can be done. He's good to go. But the John Cena's, there's just a little bit of finishing off. So that'll be a trip into the wild mode, just to do the last few games for them there. So here you can see me having a look at Taker, and obviously just checking as well the Samoa Joe, the first one that I had. He's all done. I do try and work on all the single cards to make sure they're ready on that off chance you are going to pull a pro, particularly a card that is a high ranking one, because that's now, these days, the only one that's going to get into my deck. So have a look at the deck. As you can see in that bottom row, you can see the Taker and Alistair Black, and there's the 2 John Cena's. Just looking at Taker here, just making sure everything's okay. I don't need to actually kick him out of the deck to pro him, I don't think. So I don't think I managed, I don't think I needed to kick him out. There's Alistair Black, that's the fusion card that was powering up. As you can see, he's looking pretty healthy. And then there's the 2 John Cena's again, as I mentioned, who I've got to, I'm going to have to put into that wild mode just to finish off before I can pro them. And there's a Bobby Roode. That Bobby Roode is, I didn't realise, I'd only half built him up. He's another card I'd stuck into a King of the Ring, but he was only half done. So there's a little bit of finishing off for him to be done as well. So what I'm basically doing here, you can see the top 2.5 rows of that Road to Glory deck. I mean, it's still in WrestleMania 33 quite comfortably. So it was quite an easy one to battle through. But one of the things that I do love to do, as you well know, is a bit of customization. So I'm just going to pro these taker cards now. I did always do that check, always double check and treble check. You've played all the matches, and you've not just played all the matches down the side, but you've also put in all your little tokens. Make sure they're all powered up. And he's 50 out of 50. Sometimes you get them up to 49 or something, and you think, oh, I'll just add the last few cards in. You forget. I've seen people end up with silver star pros as a result of that. So he's done. So we'll just nip out. Now, what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to power taker up. And people have commented on this before. Why didn't you power him up before you put him into your next King of the Ring? The very obvious answer to that is you put a card that's got no power into it into your King of the Ring. When King of the Ring's assessing the strength of your deck, it's slightly weaker than what it will be when the competition kicks off and you suddenly boost your card up to full value. So just having a look at some of the images. My favourite image, I changed the Team BadLadDad image. So much for doing a recording and talking over the top of it. I changed the Team BadLadDad image recently to, I think it was the Legacy Epic. I'm not quite sure. Let's just have a quick look back down here. There you go. I love that image. Just, it works so well as the team. And doesn't that look great? Doesn't that look great on the old WrestleMania card? So that's my new taker done and dusted. One of the next things I need to do is just start going through all those WrestleMania cards I've got singles and unlocking the ones that are just not going to make it into a deck, even if they were a pro version, because I've just got quite a few now that just not going to cut the mustard. So Team Battleground, as you can see, we were heading for a win, and we got the win. So more rewards to be collected, and just a quick hello to the Element and Quaz, and Colin. It was a bit rude, but we'll forgive him. And so just say thanks ever so much to the team for their efforts. We're still cracking through, still picking up these wins, and of course still boosting those points. Not spending those points. I've said it before, and I'll just repeat it in case it's the first time you've seen it. Not spending those points till we get a new tier. I'm not going to waste them on Hall of Fame packs and end up with a hardened card or something. It's pointless spending them on a pair of WrestleMania cards, because I might get something that's not even going to make it into my Road to Glory deck. So I'm just going to sit on those points for the time being. And as you can see, a single Neville who, again, he's not going to be strong enough to get into my Road to Glory team, even if he was a pro. I did have him as a pro, and I may already have fed him into somebody else. So that was not really much use, apart from, of course, the battle points themselves. It's more about the battle points right now than it is about what cards you're going to get. Although, it would be nice to have a Hoff pack, Hall of Fame pack, as the actual reward. That would be nice, wouldn't it? That would be nice. I'm just checking out the King of the Ring actually there. Just checking the King of the Ring so that I can see whether it was worth kicking off again or not. That's the first Seth card, if you remember. It's got a different image. It's got the Money in the Bank image. So I know that's the one I've already worked on. So just double checking, but yeah, we can take him out and put the new Seth in and pair him up with the Undertaker card. That makes perfect sense because they're compatible in terms of arrows. They'll obviously be the weaker setup for me in the deck. Will just lower the strength of my deck a bit at the outset and hopefully put me against people who've done something similar. Let's face it, most people you're facing in WrestleMania 33 King of the Rings are all doing the same sort of tactic. A lot of people like to favour doing a weakened female lineup. Some go so far as having all three females as weaker cards to try and drop themselves down. But I've noticed that doesn't quite work for a lot of people. Certainly come across a lot of people who've done that when I haven't. I just tend to have one set that's fairly weak, and it tends to be a set that I'm working on. So as you can see, I put Taker in and pair him up there with the new Seth Rollins and kick that one off. So there we go. That basically was it. I just wanted to show you, give you an idea of the kind of things I'm getting up to late at night. As you can see, I got my Seth card. There was a couple of hours to go, so it must have been approaching midnight. Here I'm just trying to find my second Seth to put him in, and I'll kick off that King of the Ring. And I think this morning I was 6-2, and that was having powered up for the first couple of matches. Did nothing overnight, obviously, while I was sleeping, and then just powered up this morning with some of the charge cards I got left over. So it's not been a bad start, and opposition-wise, it looks fairly comfortable. Just to point out there, I love the Hardy Boys as that pro. They've got to be the best event pro pairing going, because of course they just boost each other's stats. Whoever's got the weaker stats on one element, the other one's got a stronger stat. It's just a perfect marriage. Perfect marriage, the perfect team to have in your King of the Ring setup. Anyway, look, that's it from me for today. As I mentioned, it was just to give you a little wrap up as to what happened over the weekend. I will be doing WWE Champions. Thank you for those of you who've commented and said, well, where's it gone? There's reasons behind it, which I'll explain more in the Champions video, because I'm sure people who don't play it couldn't get two hoots about what the reasons are. But as I always say, you know what to do from here, people. Like the video if you like it. Subscribe, please, if you want to see some more of this. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and more importantly, Twitter, because that's where we do a bit of banter, and I'll let you know what videos are coming out when. And until I see you next time, you stay cool.